Hey guys, I know it's not Monday, and I would love to sit here and tell you that I just had so many things to do yesterday that I just didn't get to it, or that I had so much scout stuff to do that's still not done, that I couldn't sit down and share this with you guys. But in all honesty, I didn't know what I was supposed to say yet, especially in reference to so many posts of fear and uncertainty that's going on in our nation right now. And something's very poignant in my mind, that just last week my aunt and I, we were discussing how people don't share. They don't look for help or solutions, and they don't feel like they can talk to someone about their struggles or their depression or their anxiety or their parenting. And they don't realize until much later the consequences of that. And I asked her, what is the person, hi Gina, not the person, what is the situation that stopped her? Like, why did you not talk? Why did you have to go through all of the things? Because what lies were floating through your head that you were not relevant? And she said, because I was afraid. And whenever she said afraid, in my mind, my spirit showed me a woman in a green hijab, a pale green hijab. She was a beautiful woman who had come to one of my seminars, and she was afraid. And she was not only afraid of the judgment that was coming off of her in waves because of the stereotypes that are directed at those kind of people, the real fear that has been planted as a result of perverted souls that an entire group of people has to suffer for, but that she was afraid for herself, that her presence at my seminar was a danger to her life. But it was life for her soul, and it was worth it for her. And that spirit of fear had to be overcome to go forth and take what life had to offer. Because we've been led to believe that we can dodge death. We've been led to believe that if we do all the right things, that if we make the right choices, that if we only do certain things, that if we only eat certain things, that if we drive carefully and buckle up, that we can dodge death. And that's not true. The truth is that the spirit of death has been on this earth since that apple was bitten, that death is a result of that the spirit of death was welcomed and it was given a legal foothold on this earth, this entire earth, and that none of us are immune to it. But what is your life worth? The same life that was given for us to be forgiven is the same life that we still have to offer. It's the same life that moves our souls, this God in us, to reach out to another person so that they don't have to walk through this grief and their sorrow and their bitterness and their shame alone. That they've been lied to, that they're completely alone in their situation, that they're the only person who is under attack by that spirit of fear. Guys, don't let the spirit of fear take away your testimony. Don't let the spirit of fear keep you in your home and away from fellowship that we were intended for. Don't let the spirit of fear make you forget just because there's been church shootings or bombings or whatever, that where two or more are gathered in his name, so is he. We are not condemned even when we die, because Jesus made that possible for us. He did not give us this life to idolize it, to hug it to ourselves and to hold it and give it so much value for what it has to offer us. Our lives are an offering to other people and sacrifice to him. Our lives are an offering of ourselves, of our experiences, of our emotions, of our literal time and our physical presence to feed another hurting soul, to lift them up. And the spirit of fear wants to convince you that you won't do it right. The spirit of fear is going to convince you that what you have to offer someone else, you won't be able to finish it. So you don't want to help them dig out these lies. You don't want to help them overcome these things because it's convincing you that you don't have the right thing to say. And just this morning in one of my groups, they had a lady who commented that no one had responded to her previous post. And I saw her previous post. Her previous post was that her and her husband had tried for years and years to have a baby, and they finally had one and they wanted another one, and she was so lonely. And you know what? I had seen that post. And whenever I had lost my babies. I had miscarried. No one's words were enough for me. I did not want words. I wanted an answer. And my brother had called me, and this is in another video, and he said, you need to be praying for your babies in heaven. And I thought, what do I have to offer them that God does not? What do I really have to give to them that can possibly add to their value in heaven? And through that, I learned what they had offered me. They had offered me the value of appreciating the situation that I was in, that I could look at my other children with a new light. They had showed me what I had learned from their very short place on this earth, that even though they didn't get to stay with me, they offered something to me. And all of these lives being lost, that all we can say is so sorry, prayers for the families, throw up some hearts and some hands. We have so much more to offer, and we should not fear our own response. The words that we can offer from our times of loss are being stifled by feeling that we won't plant the right seed. God in you does not plant the wrong seed. So if I have offered you anything today, it's say it. That fear that follows someone else, that seed that has been planted in our heart is contraband somewhere else. It will lose someone's life. And if we are not speaking life over them, then why should they make that choice to turn to God? If we are not pouring into them the way that we wish that we had been poured into, if we don't ask God, what words do you want me to say to this person? Then we are part of the problem, and we are enabling the spirit of death and the spirit of fear to choke the life out of this earth. And the life is not found in evil, and it's not found in silence. It's found in voices raised in worship. It's found in sharing love and our journeys and our struggles, and that shame that we've been led to believe that we should carry. Take it out into the light and look at it, because you are not alone. You are not the only person who has struggled with bitterness and hate and anger and frustration. That why is it not my time yet? Why have I had to continue to go through all of these things? Why can I never end this walk? You are not alone, and you need to be raising your voice above the noise that is here now. You need to be reaching out and sharing your light and growing your light, because if you are not growing your light, then guess what is growing that is attached to you? And that's whatever spirit has found itself rooted in you that is convincing you that your voice is not necessary. I know that this is a very heavy way to start off the week. This is very heavy on my spirit. These are things that we are battling in the here and now, and we have so much more to contribute to the church that is Christ in all of us, that we are not contributing, that we are allowing to happen and be stifled by religious spirits and spirits of fear and spirits of anger and the spirit of death. Guys, they are all rooted in the spirit of death, and we are just letting it flow. So if you've taken away anything today and you feel like you have something to contribute, you are free to message me. I promise you that you will not be shamed for whatever you bring to me. I hope that you would share this with someone who is hurting, even if you don't have the courage yourself to tell them that you have been there. Share this video with them and say, I really think you need this today, because they need to know that they are not alone, and we are fighting that spirit that is in them with the light that we were given. I thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video and hanging out with me today, and feel free to reach out if you need anything. I love you guys, and I'm praying for every single one of you. Have a blessed week, and go and make your difference.